What's up, everyone? It's Redbeard here from AudioBiz, and it's time for another Redbeard review. Today we're talking about the Pliant CB2 digital intercom. So if you're unfamiliar with Pliant Technologies, they're one of the leading manufacturers of digital wireless intercom systems. You may have seen our video on the microcom system or the CrewCom system, but we're here today to talk to you about the newest, best of both worlds, CB2. So you may be saying to yourself, why do I need a comm system? Well, you need to communicate with your team. There's a couple ways of doing that. You can go with two-way radios, but the problem with two-way radios is they're all push to talk. You need to hold down a button to be able to communicate with your team. That's where intercom comes in. It's a full duplex two-way communication. Sounds good, I'll be right there. And you can tell them, just deal with the green M&Ms. Right out of the box, CB2 is super easy to set up, which makes it volunteer friendly. But it's also a very powerful system that a professional user like myself can add wireless to my system, and I don't have to compromise on audio quality or coverage. So what makes up a CB2 system? It's pretty simple. You've got a base station, a radio pack, and a headset. So let's dive into some of the features on the base station. So the heart of the CB2 system is the base station. And what I really like is it's a single rack space, so it doesn't take up a whole lot of real estate. It's got a built-in radio, and it comes in either a 900 megahertz or 2.4 gigahertz spectrum. So depending on what your needs are and where you're operating, you've got a couple different choices there. So you can connect up to 6 packs to a base station. But Pliant gave you a bonus connection on the front of the panel. So if you've got an operator that's near the base station, you can plug a headset in there, and you've got the ability to choose the A or the B conference and a talk button for a wired user. Also on the system, they give you a really nice display, which gives you the telemetry and the navigation similar to the CrewCom series. So there's a lot of information on there of what is going on in the system. So the back of the CB2 is where all the connections are made. There's an antenna port, and the unit does ship with an antenna, but if you need to get an external antenna or a high gain antenna, there are optional accessories available. There's a sync port, which I'm going to get into later. It allows you to connect a couple different systems together. You also have the ability to communicate or wire in 2-wire or 4-wire intercom. So if you already have an existing wired intercom system and you want to add some wireless packs to it, you can do that super easy. There's also a relay output, so you can attach things like call lights, other things like that. One other really cool thing that I like on here is there is a stage announce output. So it gives you an XLR line level output. So from a pack, you can actually call to the green room, let's say, and say, you're on in 5, which is really cool. There's also an audio in and out of the system. So if you've got program audio from a front of house console that you want to dump into the intercom system, you can do that. Or you can take the feed of the intercom and send it out to maybe like a broadcast truck or something like that, where you want to be able to communicate with other people. The RP12 is the radio pack for the user. There's a couple things that I really like about it. First off, it's built like a tank. So that clumsy stagehand that drops it, the pack's going to survive. Another thing I really like about it is the battery door, which sounds super dorky, but they've done a really cool thing in here, and they've put magnets on here. So in the dark, when you're trying to swap out a battery, it's super easy to put the door on. Speaking of batteries, it does come with a lithium-ion battery standard with every pack, and you can charge that in the dock right in the pack, or you can charge it via the USB on the side of the unit. So those batteries last for up to 9 hours, but if you forget to charge it, you can also throw in 3 AA's in a pinch. The RP12 has a simple user interface. So there's a basic volume knob on the front. You've got an A and a B button, which is going to switch between your different conferences. You've got a talk button that can be latching or momentary, depending on how you want to have it set up. You got a call button, which is going to ring everyone if you're trying to get somebody's attention. And then you also have that stage announce button, which we talked about earlier, which allows me to talk to somebody in the green room. One thing you'll notice is there's not a display on the pack. So to get into any of the menus, you do that on the base station. Not all headsets are made equal, and this is where Pliant really shines. Pliant took a lot of feedback from the field of what people loved and what people hated about their headsets, and that helped develop this line. They didn't take all the technology and just put it into the intercom systems. They also put it into the headsets. Two of my favorite are the single ear lightweight version and then the single ear heavy duty version. I like the single ear versions just because I like to be able to hear out of my other ear and not be isolated. But if you're in a loud environment, there is dual ear headsets also. So one of the other cool features, I'm going to use the lightweight one here, is in the boom arm. So the boom arm allows me to set my pack in a latch mode. But then when I put the boom down, I'm on air, my mic is live. But when I put it up, it's muted. So it makes it super easy that I don't have to fumble with my pack. I can just reach up and talk. Let's talk about the technology that makes the Pliant CB2 system so awesome. First off, they use frequency hopping technology. I'm not going to dive too deep into the weeds on this, but what the system's doing is it's broadcasting in short bursts all over the frequency spectrum, hundreds of times per second. And what this does is avoid any interference. Don't worry, you don't have to set anything up. The system does this automatically for you. So we mentioned the sync port before on the back of the base station. What this allows you to do is actually set up two systems in unison. So for example, my audio team has a Pliant CB2 system set up, and the video crew comes in and they happen to have a CB2 system. What I can do is I can sync those two systems to coordinate their RF transmissions so they're not stepping on top of each other. Another scenario is maybe I have more than 6 users that I want to use on the system. So I can also use that sync port and set it up that it's also transmitting not only the RF coordination, but also audio. So it allows me to have up to 12 users wirelessly in a system. Let's recap. The CB2 has the DNA from the top of the line CrewCom system with an easy to use interface that anyone can use. It's affordable, it's rugged, it has awesome RF performance, and it has a high dynamic range which allows you to operate in loud environments. If you're looking for a digital wireless intercom system for house of worship, production, theater, take a look at the CB2 system. I think you are going to love it. Thanks for catching our video on the Pliant CB2 intercom system. For more information or if you want a demo, reach out to us at audiobiz.com and we'll see you on the next video.